The 824th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 matching deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by Naira Bets. Claim your $200 deposit match bonus today at NairaBets/SGPN200. That's promo code SGPN200.
Hi-ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 824 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Goofier Deer, one of our friends in the Discord who hit a big parlay over the weekend, trailing some of our picks, it looks like. So this goes out to you, Goofier Deer. Thank you for keeping the Discord active with your memes that people hate, which is
They really hate
fun.
It takes a weird amount of hate for how good they are.
I know, they're funny. He doesn't seem to take it seriously, which is personally, which is good. So this goes out to you. All the rest of you can watch and or listen as well. I am one of your hosts, Supremo Simplicio, Jeff Fox. We decided last episode this is a perfect nickname for me if it translates to what we think it does, which is supremely simple, because a lot of my breakdowns are supremely simple, because that's how I roll, and it seems to work for me, at least for the UFC. So I'm just gonna stick with what works. Well, more UFC tomorrow. I'll brag tomorrow about my 9-3 week last weekend. Now, Gummy did good too. He's the guy running shotgun here.
We got a couple of, if not gifts, at least close. And maybe that was the top turtle gift there, because yes, I think there was a better argument for Iman winning that fight than people are giving it credit for.
I missed that fight.
Yeah,
I missed this. I can't really tell you what happened.
I think he clearly won one round, and then one round was a coin flip. And so anybody winning that fight would have been fine. I think people were more just bummed that it was a unanimous decision. And then the Bukauskas one was maybe a touch sketchier.
Yeah. But he's a good guy, so we don't mind.
Yeah, I love Bukauskas. And he probably did the more damage, to be fair, too. It was a lot of control from Kudalaba. And
Jan Kudalaba doesn't deserve to win ever. Just
no,
he fights Dom, and he's aggro. He's one of those guys. Anyhow, we're talking about Oktagon today, right, Gumby?
Yeah, let's talk about Oktagon.
Gumby, show me. He's got an Oktagon.
Look at this.
He's got a Oktagon.
So Oktagon came out with trading cards last year. They're all sold out, so you can't get them. I think they're coming back with new ones this year. But I got the main event for today. This is Alexander Poppeck. And it's a numbered autograph card. Well, by the way, maybe one of the lamer looking autographs you can find. It's just his AP. But Alexander Poppeck, numbered to 90, which is pretty cool. And it's numbered 90 out of 90. So, yeah, that was my fun pull out of that box. Goes up on the mantle.
Oktagon, they know what they're doing. They do things right. And that's a fun thing to have. So Gumby has it. You don't. But we'll see if he picks Alexander Poppeck in the main event or not. This is yesterday we had a German in the main event. This is now for Invicta. Now we're doing an event that's in Germany, so we're gonna have lots of German fighters on the card as well. Before we dive into it, a reminder that the DeGen's line of gear is live in the merch store, and to celebrate, we're taking 20% off everything with the promo code DeGens. So it would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, DEGENS. Check out, like I said, the DeGens line of stuff is really cool, especially the hats. But there's a whole line of MMA Gambling Podcast gear as well. So rep the show. A lot of the stuff's funny as well. So check it out. People will not know what getting sticky means, but some of you do. So wear the shirt and people will give you weird looks no matter where you go. So all right, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Don't drop your kids off at school with your sticky shirt on. All right, Octagon 71, Poppeck versus Longer. You can tell by the way I said their last names is in Germany. Munich, Germany, to be exact. Saturday, the 17th, 12 p.m. Eastern. UFC starts at, I think, 3 or 4 this week. So it'll be pretty good a tailgate show for you before the UFC. Actually, this event's better than the UFC. Who am I kidding? It's in the BMW Park Arena in Munich, Germany, 12 p.m. Eastern, like I said. Internet pay-per-view. We got 13 bouts. We're going to break down the juiciest 5, and then Gumby will have plenty to choose from for what we like to call the lightning round. Some unnamed. That person hasn't come forward yet. That we forget.
Must have quit watching us.
He gave us the idea. He gave us the name for it, and now we can't remember who it was. And he is forever disappeared. So hopefully he's still around. in the world at the very least. We're starting with lightweights. Hafeni Nafuka. He is from Namibia. That's in Russia. Not Russia. That's in Africa, if you're wondering. He is fighting. Why is Topallaj doing this to me? He is fighting George Staines from England. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. No odds yet, but Oktagon's another one of those events that drop midweek and aren't too hard to find odds for. Star Killer Staines. That's a good nickname. 5-0 with 2 submissions. All his fights take place in Oktagon. He was something called the Oktagon Challenge champion at one point. 4 inches of height over Nafuka. Nafuka's the Namibian Nightmare, which was my nickname at one point, I think. 10-2. 2 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 3-2 in Oktagon, 2-2 over his last 4. Loss, win, loss is the pattern. He got TKO'd in his last bout. Was regional champ, used to fight at 170.
I think Staines is going to be a big favorite here, probably like -250, probably like a +225 on the return on Nafuka. And I'm going to go dog at the gate here. I'm going to take Hafeni Nafuka. Despite his most recent loss, he looked really good in that fight. He fought Ivan Butchinger and did pretty damn good on it. He tagged Butchinger, dropped him. Nafuka is pretty damn strong. I think his biggest weakness is just that like he supplements his offense by forgetting he has defense, which is, live by the sword, die by the sword kind of fighter, which is, it works. It's worked for him largely in a lot of his fights and damn near worked for him in his last one if Butchinger didn't survive there and then come back and win it. But like, with Staines, like he's dangerous in his own way, but it's more like dangerous in the way that he builds up on you. He's going to hit you a bunch of times and slowly wear you down. And he's got some good grappling. He's got some nice takedowns. I just think Nafuka is strong enough and smart enough to defend against those takedowns as long as he doesn't tire himself out late in the fight. This is totally a fight where if you could get it on 7 different angles of this fight and they would load it up on props, I'd take Hafeni Nafuka with like a knockout or an under 1.5 rounds. And I take the George Staines in the over 1.5 rounds. It's like complete corollary. If you like Staines, you like the over. If you like Nafuka, you like the under. And I think, for me, Staines is like, he's green enough that I think he could get caught throwing big leather with Nafuka. And if he does that for, a split second after he should be, he's probably going to take a nap. So I'll take Hafeni Nafuka here.
All right. Moving right along. Okay. One person on Twitter says this fight is off, Gumby, but I've only seen one person.
No, the Shem Rock fight?
Shakwam Rock versus Abdullo Khodzhaev. One person, let me see how reliable.
Is it a reliable person?
Yeah, that's the thing. His name's Scott.
Oh.
Let me see.
No. Is it Scott Langdon?
No. Different guy. He's only got 428 followers. So yeah, well, we're going to assume this fight is on.
We'll break this one down. I'll give you an extra lightning round. We'll go 3 lightning rounds later instead of 2.
It was Khodzhaev who he claims is pulling out, but we'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. So it's Shakwam Rock from Great Britain versus Abdullo Khodzhaev.
Khodzhaev is already a short notice replacement.
Yeah, he is.
The second one anyway.
Yep. He's from Tajikistan. Yes. They're fighting at 3 5-minute rounds at what weight class we talking here? Is 155. All right. Yeah, this tweet came out 2 days ago as of this recording, so I haven't seen anything since. So we'll assume it's gonna happen. Like you said, Gummy's got extra picks for you anyhow. We'll tell you about the Prince of Persia first. Khodzhaev, he's stepping here kind of short notice. Was like the end of March. He picked up this fight. 6-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. Never been finished in a fight himself. He also has some finishes. Getting finished, I mean. This is his debut. TKO win in his last bout. Used to fight at 170. 7 years younger than Rock, an inch taller. Shem Rock. 11-1-1, 2 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 3-0-1 in Oktagon. He's won 3 straight and gone 5-0-1 over his last 6. He's not lost since October 2021. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get a gear, sportsgamblinghuggins.com/store. Remember, DeGens is your code to get 20% off. Shamrock used to fight at 145.
I thought Shamrock was going to be a huge favorite in this one, even when he was fighting Loma Ali Eskiev.
Yeah.
And then he's getting a late replacement here with possibly worse takedowns. And even, here's the other thing. Some people have said when I was listening to people's thoughts on this fight is that Khodzhaev could possibly take down Shamrock and control him. If he does, I think he's in danger of being submitted all the time. Because Shamrock's jiu-jitsu is nasty. And then on top of his jiu-jitsu already being nasty, he's like long and lanky and kind of difficult to deal with on the feet. And in terms of what I've seen from Khodzhaev on the feet, it's like he seems like he's got some things in terms of his striking, like maybe a touch predictable. Like when the 1-2s come in, when he's just gonna jab and back away. But on the same token, like he doesn't have the best sense of range. Like he sometimes comes up real short in some of his punches. Sometimes he's like almost like too far in to throw the power punches he wants. And against somebody like Shem, who is just like, he's so tall and lanky for this division, is like, I feel like it's going to be a hard time getting to him. And then if you do get to him, you're in danger of his jiu-jitsu taking over. So I'll take Shem in this one.
Shamrock. Hopefully it happens. All right. Before we get you to some more winning picks, let's tell you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, and get 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And the Preakness is just around the corner, and there's no better time to get in on the action with Naira Bets, NYRA Bets. Sign up today using promo code SGPN200 and score a $200 deposit match bonus. Don't wait. Head to nyrabets.com/SGPN200 and claim your $200 deposit match bonus today. That's nyrabets.com/SGPN200. And it is time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick 'em play. Underdog just launched their new game ladders. Win up to 500 times watching your favorite players climb the ladder. All right, Gumby, what you got?
So we're coming at you from Tuesday. The Braves are home against the Washington Nationals. They've got Spencer Schwellenbach on the bump. I'm going to take the higher than on his strikeouts. He's been putting up good numbers lately, and the Nationals can't hit all that well.
Yep. All that checks out. All right, take that and take our promo code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. Isn't that James Woods guy good this year, though, finally?
Yeah, he can hit a little bit. He can hit a little bit. But, like, who else is in their lineup,
Yeah. Bryce Harper?
No, not anymore. Anthony Rendon.
Anthony Rendon. That other guy that's signed with the Mets, Soto.
Yeah,
they had a lot of good players.
They had some good players when they won that World Series there. Although Harper wasn't on the World Series squad. He
wasn't. No. They had Mad Max. All right, back to Oktagon since I have to leave very soon. Shamrock, what was the number you thought?
I said like -500 or something.
All right, got it. Locked in. You are locked in. All right, we're moving on up the fight card as we like to do. We're going to light heavyweights now. Zdenek. Why is this hard? Let me think. Let me think it out. Zdenek is what it is. Zdenek Polivka. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for all the Czech Republic fans watching. And Polivka, he's fighting Harun Uzun from Germany at light heavyweight, 3 5-minute rounds. Uzun is the Turkish airline. Okay, that's a great nickname. I guess Vince Carter was Air Canada up here. It's the same thing, I guess, right? He is 5-1, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. He's finished everyone that means, and he's been finished in his 1 loss by knockout. So he goes his rounds. This is his Oktagon debut. TKO loss in his last bout. That was back in February 2024. He's not won since December 2022. He used to fight at 185. Polivka, game over. 9-7. They all have English nicknames, which is appreciated by me. 9-7, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted twice. 6-4 in Oktagon. He's won 1 of 3 and 2 of 5. He did win his last bout though. That was way back in November 2023. He used to fight at 185. 6 years younger than Uzun, an inch taller.
I think the layoff and the bad record is probably going to make Polivka a decent sized underdog here. I'll say like plus 185, and he's another underdog I'm in on here. I watched his film on Uzun and was not impressed. I know his record looks good.
I am not impressed with your performance.
I am not impressed with his performance. But the big piece for me is actually there's 2 big pieces. The first one being his hands are slow. I was watching one of his regional fights, and I know they're light heavyweights and the regional level light heavyweights. So you got to cut him a little bit of slack. But I was like, man, that is not coming in fast. And Polivka is not, outstanding in that matter, but he should have a sizable advantage when it comes to speed on the feet. And then the other thing is like Polivka can wrestle a little bit. Like he went in his last fight. He actually beat Lee Chadwick, who's probably a name that you've heard of before in his last fight. And he brought the grinding style to Lee Chadwick, who generally fights that way himself. So he kind of beat Lee Chadwick at his own game, which was sort of impressive. And then in addition to that, too, like I've seen Uzun, like he just gets taken down a lot. He's a guy who is really happy when somebody shoots because he's going to jump the ghillie, and he's finished some of them to his credit. But like he's kind of been fighting bad competition his whole career. So like we've got a guy who loves to jump the ghillie versus a guy who can grind you out and like keep himself safe. I think that's a bad recipe there and a good recipe to hit an underdog. So I'll take Polivka here over Uzun.
All right, what was the number you gave us?
I said like plus 185, maybe.
All right. Gumby's on his grind again, aren't you? You're on the grind again. Yesterday was all about the grinding too, right?
Invicta grind was all, yeah. Got to be careful with our words there, I think. So
I can tell what you're doing there.
Yep, I wasn't trying to, and then I realized
we're not that type of show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why I stopped.
Yep, we're not that type of show. Well, we're one of the last shows that aren't one of those shows. All right, what are we fighting? What are we fighting at now? We're fighting at 163, the lovely weight class 163. Arijan Topallaj, right?
Yeah,
Topal. He is from a country we've had a lot of fighters from recently, Albania. I feel like we had some Albanians a couple episodes ago. Denis Frimpong is his opponent. He is from Ghana. These guys are fighting at 163 for some reason. Let's break it down. Frimpong, Denis the Menace, is 5-2 with 1 knockout. He's been submitted once. 5-1 in Oktagon. He's won 3 straight. Used to fight at 170. 0-1 as a grappler, an inch of height over Topallaj. Topallaj is the Albanian Eagle. 7-1-1, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He has never been finished himself, yet he still owes his rounds. 2-1 in Octagon, 6-1 over his last 7. He did lose his last bout. Used to fight at 145, 4 years younger than Frimpong.
I think Topallaj should be the favorite here. Probably not by much, though. I'm going to say like -120 to like an even money on Frimpong. Like it seems like it would be close like that. And I'm going to go with Topallaj. Frimpong, for me, like he looked all right in that fight with Robin Frank, but like he had his moments, and then he also had some moments where he looked kind of ugly. Like Robin Frank took him down. That's not really a good sign if you're going to fight Topallaj, because I think he's got pretty good takedowns. And then in addition to that too, like it seemed like when he was landing on his feet, he was landing well, but also like I kept being like, why is he not getting countered and like absolutely smacked around? Because his hands just didn't seem like they were in the right spot for that. And Topallaj's got pretty good counters. And I think he's going to be faster on the feet too, which is the other thing. So like, I could see Topallaj having advantages basically anywhere this fight goes, right? Like if it's on the feet, I think Frimpong's going to open up more, but I do think Topallaj is going to be right there to counter him and probably be faster and able to do so. And then if it does decide to go to the ground, yeah, Frimpong's got some pretty decent jiu-jitsu from time to time, but like Topallaj comes from a judo background. You could see it in his takedown defense. Sometimes he like throws the little, hip in there and creates a scramble. And then if he's on top too, I think Frimpong's going to have a tough time with him. So I'm going to go with Arijan Topallaj here. I'm guessing just an ever so slight favorite.
Looks like 59% on Topallaj.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right in the same neck of the woods there. All right. Before we dive into our main event and lightning round, tell you about Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs and MLB prop market with Rhythm. Build your model is simple and easy. Rhythm knows you'll love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Check out the Al Horford prop plays there. Of course, check out all the what else do they have? MLB, yeah. Check out all the who's the player? Alex Verdugo projections there. Rhythm has some amazing deals as well. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. So that's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. And you can get a 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. And we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs, plus props for every game. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the great MMA lines there that we're talking about in all our episodes. And when you do head to MyBookie.ag, use our promo code MMASGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And if you listen to the end of the ad read, you're going to be rewarded by a lovely contest here. Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas, be treated like VIPs for their stay. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league. That includes 6 double king rooms. Hold their draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit. Limo transportation to and from the airport. A welcome party at Legacy Club for the league. Reservation at the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league. A 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. Contest duration is May 5th to June 30th. You can enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And to the main event, the aforementioned Alexander Poppeck is in the main event. He is from Russia. He's fighting Pavol longer. He sounds like he's from Poppeck is from Germany. Longer sounds like, I said it like he's from Germany, but he's really from the Slovak Republic. So longer, Poppeck, Germany versus Slovak Republic. 205 is what they're fighting at. 3 5-minute rounds because no belt is on the line. Tell you about Langer first. 13-11, 5 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted once. 6-5 in Oktagon, loss over his last 3, 4-2 over his last 6. TKO loss in his last bout. Used to fight at 265. 2013 Pro MMA debut, 2 inches of height over Poppeck. Poppeck is Ironside, 17-5 with 1 no contest, 11 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 4-1 with 1 no contest in Oktagon. 5-1 with 1 no contest over his last 7. No contest came in his last bout. He went 0-1 in PFL, 0-1 in Contender Series. Who did you lose to, Gumby?
Freaking Jamal Hill, which is a bummer. We can blame Poppeck for unleashing that on our lives.
Future UFC champion Jamal Hill. He has multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, get our merch, get our gear, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Remember the Gens, DEGENS, 20% off if you use that code. Check out. Used to fight at 185 and 265, 2013 Pro MMA debut.
And you missed the best part of the breakdown.
Oh, no, it's a rematch. Dang it.
Alexander Poppeck's only loss in his last 7 fights is to Pavol Langer. Now, that's going to make this one really interesting when the lines come out. Because on one hand, Langer is the one who came away with the win on that. Poppeck has looked way better in his career outside of that fight. And, hot take here, I think he won that fight. I think he won the first time. And I think that's why they're rebooking it here. It went down as a split decision win for Langer. Poppeck definitely looked like the better man out the gate. Did he fade a little bit towards the end? Sure, he definitely did, and Langer started to pick up some steam. But like early in that fight, like the strikes of Poppeck were the things that were landing. My constant complaint about him is just that like sometimes when his hands get going and he lands and he's getting excited about it, like his weight will keep coming forward with his upper half, but like his legs kind of stay behind him. Which sort of leaves him, first of all, super open to counters. And then second of all, it like diminishes his power too, which is, not what you want to do as a light heavyweight either. But with that being said, it's looked a lot better lately. He did really well against Jeremy Kimball. He was looking good in his last fight until that no contest popped up. So Poppeck is a guy who I've maybe written off more than I ought to have. And I think like based on how much quicker he was on the feet, how he was able to sort of like, shut down the things that Langer wanted to do last time, but ultimately like faded. I think as long as he doesn't fade here, he takes this one like I think he should have taken the first one. So it's hard to guess a line on that because he does have that loss. And you sort of have to wonder, like, will the books know enough that he's looked better lately and possibly won the one that we're talking about anyway? I don't feel like the books are that deep into the Octagon game, but maybe they are. And so like, I don't know. I could see him being a -165 favorite. I could see him being like a slight dog too. So let's hope for the slight dog, but prepare for the -165.
96% are in on him on Topallaj.
On Poppeck?
Yeah, you can hope all you want, Gumby.
well, Topallaj is apparently smart this time.
Yes.
Because sometimes they're just record lookers, but they know about Poppeck.
Yep. All right, let's give you a recap. We'll get you more picks, though. Don't you go anywhere yet. He's got Poppeck. He's got Topallaj. He's got Polivka. He's got Rock. He has got Nafuka. All right, lady rounds. That Bam Boom Pow. What you got for the people?
So I'm going to kick this one up with a guy who's real green. I'm going to take Tamerlan Dulatov. He's a guy who, you might know his brother, Islam Dulatov, who's now in the UFC. He has made his way out of Octagon and over to the UFC. Both of these guys super long, but they kind of fight differently, which is sort of fun about them. They've got some of the craziest builds for fighters out there, and other than like Money Panache, like that dude's built like a praying mantis. But like, the Dulatov brothers really long, Islam really dangerous on the feet, and it's turning out that like maybe that's not Tamerlane's game. Like he seems like he's a little bit more into the submission game, and he looked really dangerous in his first fight. I kind of like him as a prospect, so I'm going to take Dulatov. I'm also going to take Mohamed Makhaev in his fight. He's fighting Enra Samez, who you might remember from being on the Contender Series. And, he kind of looked like he got overwhelmed with pressure in that fight. And I think Makhaev could just, double that up here. I think he could beat Samez in the same way he lost on Contender Series. Now, I said I'd give you 3, so let me look.
You did.
I'm going to take Jakob Donal then for my last one. Just in case the Shamrock fight gets off, I got to give you a bonus. I'll take a Jakob Donal. He's fighting Wanderlei Jr., which is a funny name because he's not related to Wanderlei Silva in any way, shape, or form.
He spells it differently too.
Oh yeah, it's Wander.
It's
like,
something.
Yeah, it's like it's an AY I think at the end. But Wanderlei Jr. I mean, he just looks like he's kind of hittable and in there to brawl. And Jakob Donal should be able to just exploit that. So for my 3 lightning round picks, I'll take Tamerlan Dulatov, Mohamed Makhaev, and what did I say? Jakob Donal.
Yep. Wanderlei Jr.'s nickname is Mexicano, but he's from Brazil.
Yeah.
So he's very confusing, this man. He's got some identity issues, I think. All right, Gumby's got you all your winning picks. You can get more content from us if you want more of us. Be our buddies in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord on the old YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and then comment away at MMA Gambling Podcast on the Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same as on Instagram for me, Jeff Fox Writer. Check out my Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle MMA, is jam-packed with 3 special guests this week.
Yeah, we're talking to Connor Matthews before his fight this weekend, and then 2 other fighters on the card, Juicy J, Julian Rosa, and Myron Santos, who is he in the co-main event? He's fighting
I think.
He's fighting Sadiq Youssef, which is kind of a sick fight. Check out all 3 of those interviews for us.
All right, so it's Top Turtle, and of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. DeGens is your code. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for bonus content. Gumby's going to bid you farewell until tomorrow.
All right, I'm Danny Gumby Freeland. He's the Turkish Airline Jet Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.